think I said 30 something. I was like, oh wait, I am 32. Because I feel like he said, oh, at least you're not 32. And I was like, oh wait. No, I turned 32 this year. Like, I am.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I actually do the same thing where I have trouble keeping track. I have to go with my birth year and then do the math because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I it's no longer as important to remember exactly. I feel like I stopped remembering exactly around 25, 26. That's when I stopped
Hmm.
having it memorized all the time.
I think I cared about 30 and then past 30, I guess, what, 40 and 50. So it's like kind of every 10 years now that it's kind
Yeah,
of
you just
cool.
round to the nearest 10. Just round
Yeah.
to the nearest 10.
Oh, man. Yeah. I definitely need more tea. I
Everyone
don't know
snuggle up.
why. Stuffy is stupid. I disagree. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Oh, it's just time to get comfy and cuddly and cozy.
Oh, yeah. I am happy that it's like nice time to finally wear this sweater. Also, the hair goes with the sweater more, so that's exciting.
Oh, it
Look
does.
nice.
That's a good point. Yeah. I do kind of miss getting dressed in like more comfortable clothes at work. 5 years ago, like my very first teaching job. It was a very stressful job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was in kind of more inner city, and so the population I worked with was pretty intense. Though we managed to develop a good relationship by the end of my time with them, but um, I got to wear dresses, and now I have to wear tight leggings every day to work, and I like to whine about it. Yeah, it's interesting because like I there are challenges in my job,
Mm-hmm.
100%, but I prefer the challenges I have now to the challenges I would have as like a gen ed teacher in a regular school. Because yes, my job is quite intense. It's go 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 from morning to afternoon, but then I get to go home when I don't have like paperwork or grading to do. Um, and yeah, I don't miss having to do a ton of that on top of everything else.
Okay.
Shout out to all the teachers out there that are continuing to work after they go home.
Yeah. I will absolutely not clock out and just like scroll through my emails when I get home for work emails just to at least sort of know what's
Hmm.
going on. But I'm like, I'm not clocking out until I get through this. You're gonna pay me to scroll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Yes, 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 yes.
I'm trying to think. Oh, I got all of my yard work finally done. Just exciting.
Hell yes. Get it done.
Luckily, I did it before
There
it
were too
rained.
many giant spiders outside. Oh, maybe the rain washed away all the giant spiders.
Leave the
There
giant
were a bunch of
spiders
big
alone.
spiders. But they're right next to my recycling bin, and they're like right like across like the entrance to my backyard. So in order to get back there, I have to get them out of there. They're in my way.
What do you think of what giant? Are they on a web?
Yeah, they're like a pretty garden
They're
spider.
the orb weavers,
They're
I'm
vibing.
assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're pretty, and I needed them to get the fuck out of my way. Actually,
Those are my favorite ones around us out of all the
they are
spiders.
very nice. They do look very nice,
They also
and I would like
aren't,
them to be farther from me.
yeah, they're not all that aggressive either. A lot of the times I'll like
No,
see them and
they're
I'll
not.
poke them and then they'll sprint off that way to the edge of their web and I'm like, okay.
You will poke
Yeah.
them? Okay. Wow. They probably hate you.
No, if anything, they would hate me for taking their webs and using it for artwork. But they're gonna just kill the web
Mmm.
anyway, so why let it go to waste?
True. Yeah, taking a web that they spent all day on, and they're like, "What the fuck? Like, come on! I have to go make another one." Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I liked to try to when I saw ladybugs on the leaves, try to capture it and like hold it in my hand for a little bit. I would try to capture grasshoppers. Nowadays, I'm content just to watch the ladybugs and the grasshoppers. But yeah, the things you do when you're a kid out in nature are funny. Like I remember, um, did you read the Warrior Cats series when you were a youngster?
Mm-mm.
No, that's fair. But my friends and I were very into them. So we would act it out, and we would go underneath the evergreen trees and like clear out little um little homes and use pine needles to make beds. Yeah, use and have pine cones pretend to be things.
I
Imaginative
mean,
play was so fun when I was little.
yeah, I think we all did something sort of like that. I would make little homes in like houses for fairies when I was a kid. So, like I would make
Yes,
a house. But
yes.
on the flip side, I would also keep spiders in jars and feed them bees. So
You gotta love the stuff you do when you're a kid.
yeah,
Oh my
they were my
gosh.
pets. My mom didn't care as long as they did not come inside. That was her rule because she also is anti-spider. She was like, just don't
Yeah,
bring
not in
it
the house.
inside. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I remember I had a friend that we would go outside and there was a ton of little frogs that lived in her yard. And so we would make like habitats for the frogs and like move grass and dirt around, and then we would capture the frogs and put them in the habitat, and they would live there for a little and be like, okay, bye.
Awesome. Oh man. Yeah. There are a lot of weird things that you do as kids. Granted, your imagination's just going wild at that point, so.
Oh yeah, imagine play when you're a little kid is so special. We would often pretend that we were traveling places together, my siblings and I. So we would get in our dress up clothes. We would like make backpacks or bags of stuff. We would use outside materials as resources, sticks and flowers and pine cones, and gather them up. And we'd need enough for the journey ahead. And we had a pickup truck for a little bit, so we would use that as a pretend way to travel, or we would uh, make a boat or make a wagon and decide that, oh yes, we are on our way. And I was very bossy. I don't remember all the details because I was this like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, but I do remember that I would tell my siblings what to do, and they would often just kind of go along with it, but it was definitely a collaborative storytelling process where we were all pitching in like, okay,
At least
and
from
then
what
this
you
happens,
remember.
and this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You're definitely,
very
I
true,
mean, you're
very
the
true.
oldest too, so you being the leader of your siblings makes sense.
Yeah,
All of my siblings and I are far enough apart that we didn't play with like each other.
right,
uh
yeah.
yeah, we were all left to our own devices. I did a lot of tree climbing. I enjoyed climbing trees. That was my fun thing. I can still do it. There's just no good trees to climb around me, unfortunately. But
My sister climbed super duper high in a tree at a park once.
ooh,
Um, I think my it had mixed reactions from my parents. I think my dad was impressed because that's also something he did as a kid, and my mom was probably okay. Why don't we get down from that very high tree? I was never really a tree climber. I remember one time getting onto a branch and
Mhm.
feeling pretty proud of myself, and then like absolutely eating it in the dirt and being like, okay, maybe tree climbing's not for me.
Yeah, so my neighbor had a bunch of grapevines and then some trees that were like shrubbery trees or something. But they were treey enough that you could see like leaves. It wasn't like the evergreen firs or anything around. Um I remember climbing up high enough at one point and then one of the branches like snapped under my foot and I fell flat onto my back on the ground, which was
Oh,
a good several feet down. Well,
That's the
so it
worst.
was so jarring that I just started laughing because I was so shocked. It was so surprising. So it didn't
Yeah.
hurt, but I was just like laughing. It was like, oh.
Oh gosh. I definitely jumped off a trampoline, landed on my back, and had the air knocked out of me. It's such a wild feeling. I haven't, of course, had that happen since I was a child, but landing flat on your back and getting the wind out of you is such a distinct, disturbing feeling.
Oh, absolutely. That has happened to me twice in my life.
Mm, mm.
Um, one of them was I was always friends with boys growing up. Um,
Yep.
I got power slammed onto the ground at one point. You're not supposed to do. So don't try this at home. So I got power slammed and it knocked the wind out of me immediately. And I thought I was dying. Um,
It feels like you're dying.
it does. And I was young enough that I legitimately I was like, oh, I'm gonna die now. The second time that I get kicked, I think I got kicked or something. Um, on a swing or getting off a swing. It's something to do with I was at a park and it happened. It was like, oh, and yeah, that one
Oh,
also
yeah,
sucks.
getting off a swing and landing on your back. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I remember doing slip and slides and sprinkler. Those were the
Slip
best.
and slides were fun. Sprinklers, I don't know. I like them, but at the same time, like just give me a pool. I don't want the
Yeah.
sprinkler. But nowadays, I'm like, I don't want the sprinkler because I don't want to have to then clean my feet off afterward because you're just running around in the grass. So, yeah.
Yeah, we had friends with a pool when I was little, and that was awesome, really exciting going over to your friend's house that had a
Oh, yeah, for sure. If your friend had like the fun things you didn't have, you're like, hey, can we come over this summer?
Yes.
My aunt on my mom's side has or had a house that had a pool and a trampoline, and then a downstairs because they were well off for they're still well off, but they were well off because they owned a grocery store while I was growing up. They're
Mm.
the reason I got to go to Disneyland and like Shasta
Ah,
and Universal Studios and
nice.
Legoland and all that. Yeah, so I can thank them for that for sure. uh,
That is very cool. Very cool.
but downstairs they had this like just play because there were 5 kids, and so they had a play area that was like a bunch of obstacle kind of things, and then they had an in-home
Nice.
gym. And they were homeschooled, so they had like one little room down the way that was for schooling and stuff. And yeah, and that
Hmm.
downstairs area was just so cool. And it was almost arcadey, but there weren't any arcade machines I can remember. We just always had some sort of activity to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. That trampoline, I got my leg caught in it. So I didn't have a back
Oh God.
issue. Yeah, but I got my leg caught right where between the mat and the bar where the springs attach.
Oh
Yep,
no, no, no.
that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's no fun at all.
I just want to make this episode the main episode because it's a lot smoother than the last one was.
I thought the
Um,
main episode was perfectly fine.
we'll see what I do when I'm editing later.
Yes, the editor Chelsea, she will wield her brush. She will make the decisions and style it how she will. I
Dial.
do distinctly remember the transition between fifth and sixth grade as okay, we went from doing a lot of imaginative play still to we don't do that anymore.
Hmm.
And that yeah, that was a difficult transition for the first few weeks. It definitely felt like oh you're like we're really growing up, you know, like academics feel a lot more serious now. I will say we did a lot of cool projects
That's
in
good.
sixth grade. We my history teacher built like a cave in the back of our classroom and did like the fake murals of like the Paleolithic era.
Oh.
Well, a version of the murals from the Paleolithic area.
Mhm.
And then in my science class, we built roller coasters and did a ton of experiments that used physical stuff. Like we were doing experiments like twice a week with
And this was middle
like
school?
simple machines. Yeah, my sixth grade
Hmm.
class. Oh yeah, my sixth grade teachers were really, really good. They had a lot of. I remember when my math class in sixth grade, we built um, geometric gingerbread houses, and so we had to incorporate a bunch of different shapes into our gingerbread houses,
Mhm.
and took those home. That was really, really lovely. Yeah, my seventh grade year saw a dramatic decrease in the amount of like physical and like that kind of stuff. But my history English teacher, we still made some models and we still made some like dioramas and some stuff like that. Do I even remember? Oh, I hated my seventh grade math class, and it wasn't my teacher's fault. It was the year we entered things on a little device. They don't do this anymore.
Oh,
Because
the
of course now everything is done
scientific calculator
laptops.
or whatever?
It was a way that he could quiz us in during the lesson.
Oh.
So there'd be a question on the board, and then we would enter it on our devices, and then it would go in. And it was very finicky and not
Mm.
super reliable. Also, I did worse when I only got one chance at things because I
Yeah.
was prone to miscalculating. So even if I understood the process, I would be getting like, 40 to 50% of the questions wrong because I wasn't checking my work thoroughly enough or just like, So that class had me in tears a little bit because I was like, no, damn it. I learned how to be more careful in the later grades, thankfully. And they did away with those devices, I think. So I hated those things.
I never had those. That's what it's like. Oh, scientific calculator? No. Yeah, we never had that. That's weird.
Thank goodness they sucked. If there's anyone else listening to this that was like, oh yeah, I remember entering things device, yeah, we can be in solidarity.
I
Yeah.
mean, I also just don't like math class. I was not a math person. My mom tried to explain math to me and she said that I would just give her like a deer in headlights look. And I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
yeah, no. I'm more of science, and then definitely reading and writing for sure.
Yeah.
Social
Yeah.
studies is important to take with you, but I also hated that. But it's just because I'm bad with dates. I'm not good with
Yeah.
memorizing dates and things.
If you're going to be a history teacher, I hate to say it, you have to be a good storyteller. And
Yeah.
you have to be a good like leader of discussion. If you are just giving lectures and stuff, it's so fucking boring. Like I was really lucky. My sixth grade history teacher stands out. My 11th, not 11th, my 10th grade history teacher stands out as people that were able to make them feel like actual people, real stories of real shit that happened
Mhm.
and like connected throughout the world. But it's very easy to make history incredibly dry. Math is a harder one to make feel as real and interesting. There's a lot of good YouTube videos, I think, that I relied on YouTube videos when I was a gen ed math teacher as like my intro to concepts often because they would do a lot of relating it to the real world. It still would sometimes feel a little dry and a little boring.
Yeah.
Math's not everyone's thing. And that's completely valid, but that's a harder sell for sure. I feel like science is a pretty easy sell if you're good at it. History is a pretty easy sell if you're good at it. Um, communicating like language arts studies, that's harder. I mean, being able to communicate verbally really clearly and well, I think is a skill that probably could be more nurtured it's very
It's very
time consuming to
useful.
do that.
But yeah.
But of course, they didn't have time to do that with all 30 of us in class. So the curriculum was written that we would write a bunch.
Uh,
And I liked writing fiction.
yeah.
I didn't as much enjoy writing essays. I don't think anyone really liked writing essays.
No, I mean, if you researched on it and stuff, it's whatever. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed writing fiction more than I did actual research papers and essays on things, for sure.
Yeah.
And when it came to math, like I realized I really liked geometry,
Hmm?
and I hated everything else. But geometry, it's
Geometry. No,
like
that kind of
you
makes sense
see,
from an
yeah,
artist perspective.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And I will also be one of the people that's like, yeah, I'm glad that I'm totally using the quadratic equation every single day of my life, and it was so
Uh,
important.
I feel very disenfranchised from the curriculum.
Yeah.
I I I think math above like a 7th grade level should be optional.
Mm.
If you love math, you should have it free to you, of course, to take math into advanced courses. I don't think it should be required.
I think
I
you
think
should at least know the basics.
taking
You
yes, you
at
should
least
know up to
have
a
to know the
7th grade
basics.
level,
But
and you should know how to use it as far as like practical applications go
yeah,
for money, um yeah, for regular applications. But yeah, I think history's good, and I think it really matters who's teaching it.
yeah.
And I
Unfortunately, in
think
high
science is
school,
cool too.
I had a history teacher who, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but it was like my class was either the first or second one in the morning. I want to say it was the second one. I had like
Yeah.
weightlifting first. So I'm gonna be tired because I get to do workout stuff first thing in the morning at like 7, 8 a.m. And then at like 9 or whatever time, was history. Poor teacher. He had the monotone drawing history teacher voice, and it was so hard to stay awake. It was so
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah, that was the class I
Yeah.
actually started writing in because it kept me awake, so I would write my short stories in that class to stay awake. Yeah. I do remember
Smart.
learning about the
Smart.
Donner Party, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a dark one to learn
Yep.
about. Ugh. Yeah. If I was gonna overhaul the curriculum, I would say starting in 6th grade, in addition to history, and I would change language arts to more of like communications.
Mm,
And then you could take like an elective if you want to do like a bunch of literary and like fiction studies, because that's fun. It's not very practical. I mean, being able to like communicate about what you've learned is a very crucial skill, and being able to like persuade people and
yeah.
communicate well, like speech get like only not speech giving, but like being able to interview, being able to communicate and like solve conflicts. I think that would be a good class. And then
It sounds like a
science,
debate class,
because
too, a little bit.
yeah, a debate class,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I think that starting in 6th grade you should be taking CTE. They do require CTE now in high school, but it's only 1 credit. I think every student should be taking a CTE starting in 6th grade onward for every semester, and that's career and technical education.
Thank you.
So it should, yeah, sorry, yeah, sorry. You're like, what the hell are you talking
What?
about? So it should rotate between like exploring the medical careers and doing a little bit of dabbling in what that would feel like,
Mm,
exploring legal careers, and like just going from sector to sector to sector. And then as the kids get older, now that they've been exposed to a bunch of stuff, letting them pick. The problem with it is that if you want to get high quality CTE education, you have to hire former experts,
uh,
and those are hard to find.
and
Now,
expensive.
I still think you can be a good CTE teacher without ever having done it. You won't be necessarily as good as a former nurse, a former car technician, but you can at least connect kids to resources to help them learn. It's
Yeah.
better than nothing. But that's my ideal. Like you take science and like thinking about like critically about the world, and like with an experimental analytical mind and learn how the world scientifically. You take history, you take a communications class, you take a PE health class,
Hmm.
and you take a CTE class, and then you get to take an elective like band or choir or literature, um, or art. But that'd be my ideal. And then once you get into high school, I think it should be more like the European system where they have different high schools for what you want to do.
That would
So
be
it's more
cool.
like going to a college than a high school.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more like that. There are more and more programs opening up where it's like there's an arts high school, there's a science high school, there's a career and technical high school, there's a project-based high school.
Too
So
bad they didn't have that for
there's
us
limited
growing
spots.
up, but you know.
Yeah, I did a magnet program, and I did college, so there was some stuff
I did
available to me,
college,
but
but I just went to basic ass public high school.
yeah,
So,
yeah, no, they need to do more, and whether that will happen or not is,
yeah.
but a lot of the hands are tied, and I think in my opinion, one of the stupidest things is requiring credits of advanced math in high school. I just don't think it ends up. I'm so sorry to all the math majors out there that are like, how could you say this? Math is so crucial for like, critical thinking. I'm like, there's so many other ways to learn how to think and wonder about the world. I don't think we need to require it for everybody.
So, I didn't take any advanced math classes, but that's because I failed the WASL, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, the Washington assessment. It's some stupid Washington state test.
It stands for wasting a student's life,
It
Chelsea.
does, honestly.
It's the Washington Assessment of Student Learning,
There you go.
I
Yeah.
believe.
I failed the math portion, and because I kept failing the math portion, I had to just continue to take math. And so my senior year, I took just like a basic algebra. It's like, all right, fine.
So they let you take basic courses to get your credit.
Hmm. But I
Good. Okay.
was
Thank God.
required. So the problem is,
Yes. You had to just retake it over and over and over.
yeah, as a sophomore, if you passed as a sophomore, you could stop taking, I believe it was math classes. You were good to go. If you failed the WASL, though, then you had to continue to take math classes throughout your entire high school career. It didn't do anything for me, obviously. I kept failing the fucking WASL. So it's like, all right.
Yeah. No,
But
I feel like the requirements are kind of stupid in my opinion for certain stuff. And I know it's very controversial deciding what all of the children should be learning.
yeah, well, and
And it's
I do agree
complicated.
that math to a certain point is essential for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a math person.
It's some bullshit. It's some bullshit. In
Um,
addition to
yeah.
requiring every kid to take a communications course that teaches them how to like read and write and understand and do all like the language arts stuff,
Hmm.
I think it should be looped in with social emotional, especially problem solving socially, how to build and maintain relationships and what those different kinds are, like with friends and with authority figures, with your boss, with your teachers, with your parents, like um and in high school I think that there should offer an optional parenting course. Um
Especially with how
and
many teen
so like yeah.
pregnancies and stuff happen. Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
I mean,
They should definitely offer
we
early
sort of
childhood
had one,
education
I
courses.
think.
Yeah, they had an early childhood education course at our high school, I believe. It was optional.
Yeah, I have a certificate from mine, which is
Nice.
also funny because I will never forget. Every time I think about me in relation to like a child, I will never forget Alex's reaction to it. It's like, hi, Alan. It's like, I also have siblings and have been around children. What do you mean?
Oh my gosh. I wonder
It's
what the
so
next time
funny.
you'll see Kellen in person will be. It's gonna be crazy. He's gonna be so much older
I'm
since
gonna
the
see him
last
in
time
just
you
like
saw him.
chunks. It'll be great.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, you're big now.
I'll look to you guys and be like, all right, what can he do now? I'm like, what's
Yeah.
new?
What's he leveled up? What skills has he unlocked?
Yep. No, let's see. Classes. Did you guys ever have the senior project
Yes.
where you had to
I did mine
present?
about piano teaching, and I composed a song. Yeah.
Very nice. Mine was about tattooing and being a tattoo artist on that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was my career path originally until I realized an apprenticeship was multiple thousands of dollars. And I was a broke child and could not do that, so oh well.
Yeah.
Even now I'm like, I could try, and it's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Your interests change as you get older too.
Well, and I would love to do that, but I don't know. I also working in retail for so long and also knowing horror stories from like my own personal tattoo artist and some others, I don't want to deal
Oh,
with that. I want to deal
true.
with the people.
Having to actually be face to face with your customer as you're doing art on their skin is definitely different than making art in the privacy of your own home and then being like, okay, here's your art.
Yeah,
Have a nice day.
exactly. Because you can do commissions and it's totally fine. And then you just hand it off and you're like, here you go. Unless you're doing like a mural or something, in which case I guess that's more hands-on and people-y. But even then, that would be fun. I've done a mural before, but yeah. Oh man. Yep. When we were talking about like what we've done as kids and adventures and stuff, I was reminded of this the other day. I don't remember what triggered the memory. But plums will break windows. I know from
Oh,
experience.
oh,
Yeah. I got in
I
trouble.
see.
I didn't even mean to do it, I don't think. I don't remember what we were doing, but yeah, I had thrown an unripe plum and it just went right through a window. Like, oh,
Wow.
yep.
That was not a double pane window, I bet.
No. It was like some old
Yeah.
shack window or something, but yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the most memorable thing I broke. My landlord's statue. They had a bunch of statues out on the side of their house.
Mhm.
I don't remember how I broke it. I think I might have just run into it and then like fell over. And I was so embarrassed and upset.
Oh, I remember I was going to tell you for this week because we were going to talk about like the ridiculous stuff that we did as kids and things. And the story I was going to say. So, all right. We would go to the bus stop and we were all just a bunch of degenerate kids and teenagers. And it was, and then we learned, or I had learned, I guess, and other kids knew, but that you could make like a flamethrower with Axe body spray
Oh
and a
no.
lighter.
No.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do that so much. However, kids are stupid. And y'all need to
Yeah, they
remember
are.
kids are stupid. And I'm sure parents absolutely are like, no, kids are dumb. And the second they're quiet is trouble. Um, because I would spray, and this was consensual. They wanted me to do it, so it's like, all right. But like, I would spray their chest with Axe body spray, and then set it on fire.
Yep. That definitely sounds like young
Teenagers up to
teens.
some bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And now with TikTok, I know that there
Oh
are
God, if
hundreds
we had
of
TikTok
such
back then,
things.
I would be so cool. No, yeah, TikTok is a wild advancement in the youth, but yeah. No, everything was fine and dandy until I singed a kid's eyelashes.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And I really wanted to be like, cuz I've always been into fantasy and all that stuff, so I like put a whole lot of it in a glove that I had and I sprayed
Uh-huh.
it and it was awesome for about 5 seconds until it started to melt through the glove and then it stopped being cool.
Yeah, no, that, yeah, oh my gosh. But yeah, you got to feel like you were using a
Right? It's
fire
like,
magic for like,
fire! And then you're like,
and
well,
it's
it's
like,
melting
oh,
my
it's
glove now.
melting. Uh-oh.
Yeah, nobody ever got like injured or anything, but the only thing that happened was the singeing of the kid's eyelashes, and it was kind of funny because we would see him afterward and you would just see like shortened eyelashes for a good like few weeks.
I think everyone's had the sibling cut the hair, but I don't think I can remember
I
any
cut
of my
my hair.
siblings cutting.
I
You
didn't
cut
have
your own hair.
because my brother was my oldest sibling at the time, and my sister
Right.
would be the baby, so I cut my own hair at one
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
Did you ever cut her hair?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you were old enough to know better at that
Well, yeah, and
point.
after cutting my own hair, I got yelled at for it, so I didn't cut her hair. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
well, and you gotta remember, so the distance between my brother and my sister and I is like there's a 9-year age gap, and then there's an 8-year age gap.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
very separated.
Yeah. Yeah, friends cutting each other hair sometimes. Yeah, but I don't think I ever
We had a lot of
did
dying,
that
a lot of
or my
dyeing of
siblings.
hair
Oh,
in high school and stuff.
yes. That makes sense.
Mhm.
That makes
Friends dyeing each other's hair. Some girls coming to school with, back in the millennial emo age, fried hair, just absolutely bleached to shit, felt like straw. Oh my god, I luckily didn't do that, but yeah,
Oh,
there were some that
yeah.
was like, wow, your hair is crispy. Not a
Not
good
exactly what
feel.
you want out of your hair. No. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the girls that were rebels and were the first ones to wear leggings to school. And they at first said it wasn't allowed. But I think by high school, it was more normalized. It
Mm.
started just, they had to kind of give up.
Trying to think of what. Let's see. There were always like the school things of checking the length of a skirt and that kind of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and then the two
Yep.
finger tank top. Um,
Yeah.
what was trying to think. Ah,
They changed it. I don't know if they changed it for my school district, but they changed it for the one I'm working in where your underwear has to be covered
well, yeah,
and
that makes
your
sense.
midsection has to be covered.
Okay.
So you can't wear crop tops, which
Yeah,
that makes
no,
sense. It
you're
is
in
school.
school. Yeah.
But that way they don't have to deal with the whole like bra strap thing. Like I don't think they detailed that your bra strap has to be covered. I think they just meant that like the bra itself has to be covered and your
Well,
underwear
because
has
the
to be
bra
covered.
strap having to be covered is bullshit for when you're a teenage girl
It
and it's the
is.
summer and you're like, all right, so
It is.
what?
Yeah, no, most tank tops, even if they're kind of wide, if your bras aren't like exactly aligned with
Mm-hmm.
that, you're screwed.
Yep.
So, yeah.
No.
No, I think the way that most teachers would interpret it is like, okay, is your bra covered? Cool. Is your underwear covered? Cool. Is your midriff covered? Cool. You're good. You're fine.
Well, and if you want to wear a crop top to school so badly, but you can't have your midriff, do what we used to do and layer. Wear like a
Yeah, you
tank
can
top
layer
or
it.
a t-shirt underneath it, and then wear your crop top and call it good. We did that
Yeah,
shit
or
all the
wear
time.
a light sweatshirt over, and then when you're school, you can take it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember doing that. We would also layer. Did you ever layer tank tops? So you would get like the double
I
tank
grew
top
up
effect.
LDS. We were not allowed to wear tank tops except when we were exercising.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to wear leggings as pants. I wasn't allowed to wear
That makes
shorts that
sense
were
as to why you exclusively wear leggings now.
yeah, I like loose comfy. I don't like the feeling of jeans. No, I do not.
Yeah.
Buttery soft is the way to go. Yeah, nowadays though, I do notice that my younger sister, I think they've changed it a little bit about shorts because
Mm.
I notice her shorts are still like thigh length,
Mhm.
but they don't cover her knees. So I'm like, okay, it seems like it's a little um about that.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't grow up LDS, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I still had like a at least grandma's house was conservative, but I had a lot of dresses growing up until I hit about younger child, like past toddler age, dresses eventually became like holidays and then school pictures. I had to
Right,
wear a
right.
dress until
Yeah.
the day I snuck out and I wore what was it? I had like a little top. I don't remember what they were called. I don't think they're not camisoles. But it's like a little top and it had either long or short sleeves. It only went to like here and had
Yeah.
like a little bit of lace and you would tie it in the front over your t-shirt or your tank top or something. But I wore that and then some sort of tank top and I think like jeans to my school pictures. And my mom got them when we got home. She's like, "You're cute, but also, how dare you not tell me?" Like, I want to wear a dress again. And that was
Oh,
middle
that's
school.
fun.
Like, that was sixth grade. It's like, well, I didn't want to wear a dress
Wow.
again. Yeah. No, I was
Yeah.
forced into dresses for a long time, which is also why I don't normally wear them anymore. I'll wear them for, like, really fancy occasions, but I never get those, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying
That's
to think of
fair.
other, like, weird things we did in high school. A lot of things are coming back. And I've seen some of the Zoomer emo TikToks. It's like, ah, yes, I was there.
Comes for a circle.
There when it
Yeah.
was crafted. I was brought up in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
I
was.
tricked my mom. Well, not tricked her, but like begged her for some skinny jeans, and I wasn't allowed to have skinny jeans, but I argued that they weren't skinny jeans. I think I kind of even believed myself when I was telling her this. And she's like, "Fine, we can get them." And you know what the sad part is? I said, "I don't think I wore them very much because I think I got too tight. I got ones that were like too small for me because you know when you're a stupid teenager and you're like, I can fit into this. You cannot
Yeah.
fit into that. That's too small. Yeah. But I
Why
did
weren't you
eventually
allowed to wear
find
skinny
jeggings and I
jeans?
wore that.
Why couldn't you wear skinny
We
jeans?
weren't allowed to wear overly tight clothing.
At least those like are pants. I could see those being fine because they're
Yeah.
pants. They're gonna cover all of your legs and your butt and everything. But yeah, all right.
Yeah. Once I found that jeggings existed, I switched to that when I wanted to wear jeans.
Mm,
Um,
that makes sense.
but it is kind of funny. I still have like a couple articles of clothing that I've held on to that I'm like, maybe I'll fit in these again. I don't think I'm ever gonna fit in them again. But yeah, it's like pairs of pants that are like for a much smaller version of me. It's like, yeah, probably time to give those away.
I have definitely grown out of the majority of my jeans that I used to have. There are some shirts though that I still fit in because I haven't grown since high school. Uh, so there are some shirts I still have. I was like, man, this is old. Like I have this striped one back from peak prime emo days. It's got stripes on it.
Yes.
It's got sewn in like little straps with belt loops and then a zipper. And
Nice. Oh, hell
it's just a
yes.
t-shirt. It's like old
Yep.
Hot
Yep.
Topic style. Yeah, it's sick,
Yep.
man. I could never my biggest thing that I wanted as a teenager and I could never afford them because they were so popular were trip pants. Do you know what those are?
I do not know what those are.
Okay, those are the pants that were like they were baggy, but they had all these straps and belt loops on them and everything else, and you'd always see the punky emo
Mm,
goth kids wearing them, and they were like $60
yeah.
a pair or something crazy.
Yeah.
Which that's just
Yeah.
normal for jeans now, and as an adult, I'm like that's stupid. But yeah,
Yeah,
trip
they had
pants.
all the extra decor, I guess. Maybe it was like the extra stuff on top that had to make more cost. That's, yeah,
I
that
could
is
never find them.
quite a style choice.
It was always just plain old jeans for me at that point because I couldn't afford the cool ones.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
low cut tops, but I had to wear camis underneath them.
Hmm.
Um, and so I kind of resented that, or like having to wear cardigans over strappy dresses um or shirts. I didn't like having to do that either. I mean, I was good until I was like, I don't
I was
subscribe to this
good until
anymore.
I wasn't.
I was That's right. And then I could wear low cut tops if I wanted to. And strappy stuff because it was often really difficult to style it in a way that looked good.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know a lot of other LDS girls struggled with it too, where they would need to modify. They would have to wear like a cardigan or they'd have to wear something underneath, and it just looked bad because it just they couldn't make it look better.
I did the like teenage boy thing, and I did it for so many years, even as an adult, like into my 20s, with the t-shirt and then the long sleeve shirt underneath the t-shirt. I still do that
Oh
shit.
yeah.
It's just a look that I'm
Isn't
like,
it
nah, I
tricky
still
to
like
like
it.
separate?
It can be. If they're both very baggy, it's a problem. But if you have a long
Uh,
sleeve shirt that's like slightly more fitted and then the loose t-shirt, it makes it a lot easier. For sure.
yeah, I can imagine that looks nice on a cool day. I feel like that would get overheated really fast on a warm day though.
Oh yeah, definitely. The only other crazy thing I can think of that we did, like obviously we did the hair thing where we had like the side bang swipes, and then some people had the stripes and spiky in the back.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but were the that was the years of at home piercing.
Oh, true.
I didn't
Ooh.
get any done. I guess technically I got these ones done at home, not my home, but my mom had a friend who had had a piercing gun, which PSA, don't use piercing guns. They're very bad for you. Um, but also the only reason why this one doesn't have an earring and this one does is because she did this one. I bled. She freaked out. I went outside to let her calm down because she was the one with the piercing gun, so her hand could be shaky. Um, Came back in. It was very cold outside. So she then went to pierce this after it had numbed and been very cold and instantly swelled. And so I have like a little, I can almost feel like where it sort of was, but yeah, that did not take, unfortunately. And I tried to
Damn.
pierce my lip at one point in the most weird white trash, do what you gotta do kind of way. It never made it, but it was like a link from a chain, I want to say, that had broken. And I had been putting it in my lip and wearing it like a placer. And just like, I think it was on this side, probably. I don't have anything there anymore. But over time, it would just like keep adding more and more pressure, hoping at some point it would just break through the skin and then I'd have a lip
Oh,
ring.
I see what you mean. I can understand the whole process, but also I'm freaked the fuck out. Like, no.
Yeah, there were other kids
No.
obviously who like took needles and just like pierced themselves. It's like, nah, I don't trust any of you. I'm not gonna do it. I'll do it myself. Oh man, we were wild as kids. Also, I think we probably being outside of the LDS got away a little bit more with the whole dressing up like you're perfectly fine and woo, before making it to school and then stripping off 5 layers and being like, all right, here's the actual outfit I wanted to wear. Yeah. Did you do
That
that?
totally makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Did you do
Yeah,
that
no,
or
it is a
get to do
difficult
that?
line. No.
Oh.
No, by the time I was out, I was 16 and was going to college. So, um, I'd have to look at pictures,
Did you do
but
like
I
running
think
start?
yes.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
like, how are you going to
Yeah, I
college at
graduated with
16?
my AA and high school diploma.
Ah, okay.
But I think at that time I was wearing tight tops and like jeggings. Um, and I could like go through my photos from that age, but I think that's kind of what I was wearing.
Yeah.
And then once I gained weight, like 5 or 6 years later, I switched to wearing kind of like looser tops over leggings.
Mm.
And I found that a lot more comfortable. And I'm kind of like I'm kind of stuck. I don't mind saying this. I'm about 10 to 15 pounds overweight, and I mean, yes, I would like to be more in a healthy range because you reduce your risk of long-term diseases and all that
Mm.
shit, right? But I'm not really making a ton of effort. You know, I'm trying to make sure I don't get any higher,
Mhm.
but I'm not making a ton of effort to like, yeah, really reduce. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do want to be healthy. I do want to live a long, healthy life. So,
Yeah. Well,
but it's tricky.
and you do still have like your kids. So as your kid grows, you're still gonna have
Yeah,
to keep up with your kids. So I'm sure they'll keep you active to an extent.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Are you a
And of
PE
course,
teacher?
most of it is how much you eat. Yeah, no, being a PE teacher, well, it helps two ways. One, I don't eat until I get home, so
Mhm.
it kind of forces me to intermittent fast and it works for me. Um, and yeah, being physically active, it kind of helps suppress my appetite just a little bit and yeah, it keeps me from yeah, but yeah, that's about as good as I'm gonna get for now.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I
That's
actually
where I'm at.
I hadn't realized that I had gained weight over years until like looking at myself now and then looking at myself a year ago and I was like, "Oh, huh, okay. Yeah."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. When you get busy, when you're an adult and like yeah, and it depends on your eating habits too, because your eating habits change and shift from year to year.
Mhm.
So it's like, I just care a lot less about it nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, it's what it is. Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Make it through.
Yeah. I also just have a very physically demanding job, so I don't get to not and I'll often leave my job just exhausted and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Cool." So any
Yeah.
workout that I do on top of that is definitely extra. Now that I'm walking the dog like nightly, that's even more steps and extra
Nice.
cardio and things. So yeah, it helps.
Yeah. For me at least, it's like mostly just calorie intake. It's just how much I'm
Oh yeah,
eating in a given day. Yeah.
yeah. I've definitely lowered my calorie intake since everything that's happened this year, and so I'm sure that that's partly to do
Mhm.
with it. But it's because it's just me,
Mhm.
so I'm not cooking for multiple people. So my
Mhm.
portion control is,
Yeah.
oh, here's a bowl of rice and some toppings, and I'm good. I'll have some
Yeah.
dessert
Yeah.
later, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, if I remember back in high school, I was 115 to 120 pounds, and I was never under or over that. That was my range. It was crazy.
Mhm.
But I was
Yeah,
athletic
I don't
too.
mind.
So,
Yeah, I don't mind going into a little bit of detail. I was definitely pretty obsessed with my shape in high school, but
mm,
didn't I wasn't very yeah, I wasn't very good at committing to to doing much about it, I guess.
yeah.
I was definitely at a healthy weight. I think started out probably 120 when I was in middle school, and then by high school I was closer to 130, and um so I was like constantly trying to like eat less and lose weight. And I was also dealing with dairy allergy stuff where
Oh,
food always
yeah.
felt like it made me feel sick. So
And you
I had
didn't
a
know
really
why.
bad relationship with food.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once I got into my later teens, things got a little better and I lightened up a little bit more. And I probably settled around 135 or so.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I slowly gained a little bit more older. And after I was pregnant with Kellen, eventually settled back down. Yeah, probably like 155, 160. So more than I'd like to be, but eh.
That's actually what I
Eventually I'll
was.
try to make an effort.
That's what I was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I got it to like a year ago, maybe 145, but I was still. You wouldn't
Yeah.
notice because I wear it, I guess. Well, I don't know. I don't know where it is.
People
It was in
also
my
say that to
thighs.
me. They're like they can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember you being a little surprised just how high my dress size has to be to fit into a
Oh,
dress. Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, I have to wear a very big dress size to
I
fit.
was like, oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
No. The high
But
school
it'd be
days.
nice.
It would be nice. Well, I don't think I want to hit 115 again. I was
Yeah.
malnourished. I should not have been
Yeah.
115.
We were not being healthy
Ooh.
teenage girls. We were not
Now
being
at
healthy about it.
32, I'm finally fine. I had to remember that I'm 32 the other
Yay!
day. Somebody asked me how old I was because I woke up and my shoulder hurt. And it's like, oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I slept wrong and now my body's mad and it's broken because I'm
Yep.
30 and this is just life now. It was like, oh, at least you're not like, and I was like, oh wait, I am 32 because I feel like he said, oh, at least you're not 32. And I was like, oh wait, no, I turned 32 this year. Like I am.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I actually do the same thing where I have trouble keeping track. I have to go with my birth year and then do the math because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I it's no longer as important to remember exactly. I feel like I stopped remembering exactly around 25, 26. That's when I stopped
Hmm.
having it memorized all the time.
I think I cared about 30 and then past 30, I guess what 40 and 50. So it's like kind of every 10 years now that it's kind
Yeah,
of
you just
cool.
round to the nearest 10. Just round
Yeah.
to the nearest 10. Who fucking cares anymore?
Well, funny enough, this was longer than the main, so I think this is going to be the
Okay.
main. So,
That's fine. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
it's fine. This episode wasn't spicy, so it's all right. And
Yep.
everybody else, you'll catch what might have been or should have been the main in the Patreon. So,
Yeah.
peace
Flip
out. Take
Flipperoo.
care of yourselves, and we will catch you all next week. Goodbye.